Hello, everybody, and welcome to Neurodiversity Support Podcast. I'm your host, Annika, a local neurodivergent and neurodiversity specialist. Today, we are back with another very interesting neurodivergent interview. Today, we are interviewing Bella. Bella is a neurodivergent matriculant, and she unpacks what it's like to be a teenager with ADHD and with dyslexia in a mainstream private school, and she unpacks what it's like to be a teenager in this day and age, and she shares some very valuable tips of what she thinks parents should know about disciplining a neurodivergent teenager. Have a listen and enjoy. Hello, Bella. Welcome. So tell me, Bella, when did you get diagnosed? What is your diagnosis? When did you get diagnosed? Talk to me.
Okay. I got diagnosed when I was like 6, probably.
Very early.
And I literally just went to tests. And what was the other question?
What is the diagnosis?
The diagnosis is ADHD, dyslexia, and that's it.
Got some. No. What's the thing with your eye?
Oh, glaucoma.
Telling you there's something here, bro. Yes, glaucoma. Okay, so when you were 6 years old, do you remember the testing process?
Oh yeah. I remember going into this like small little school, and then the teacher literally just like gave me photos, and we had to play with games, like all these different kind of tests to see how long you can stay focused on it.
And then after you were diagnosed, did they say like, bro, this is what it is? Did anybody do like a debriefing with you of like, this is what's going on with you? You were 6. So I'm very curious to see. So then when did you kind of find out, like when did you find out what your diagnoses are?
I think when I was in like middle school.
How did it come out?
Well, like I always knew, but then I stayed back here in grade 2, and then I was like, okay, there's definitely something going on there.
Was it a formal conversation, a sit down, like, Bella, let's tell you something?
No, I don't really understand it fully because they first told me I had ADD. And then I was like, oh. And then when I met you, you started like educating me more about things.
And I mean, I met you almost 3 years ago, 2, 3, and that was the first time you started like, is that what it is about me?
Yeah, I started like actually understanding it fully.
Okay. And was there a lot of frustration before then?
Yeah, a lot of frustration.
And how about shame?
There was shame in the sense of I felt like I wasn't smart than the other kids.
Yeah, because you're not like doing the things the same way. So you're like, something's wrong with me. And the only thing that the children ever say is, yeah, damn. Okay, it must be that. But it's not that. Okay, so how does your ADHD present now? How do you know you're ADHD?
I can't focus on one thing at once.
Okay, what's your span like?
I don't really know what my span is, but I know that if I want to do something, I can focus on it for a long period of time.
If you're hyperfixating on it. Yeah.
But if someone tells me to do it, I probably last 20 minutes.
Max, yeah. Okay. Let's see what else, like, how does your ADHD present in social settings?
Well, I can't carry on like a conversation. I can, but then I just get distracted with other things around me.
Yeah.
So if I'm not on Concerta.
Yeah. Okay. You're on Concerta.
Yeah. So then it's a mess. I'm just all over the place, all at once. And what also happens is I rock back and forth.
Oh, is that just stimming?
Yeah, I just rock back and forth, and my mother hates it. I can't stop it. Or like side to side. It's really weird.
But it's because you're trying to keep yourself nice and calm, and you're just trying to be present and focused. But if it's somebody, do you find as a teenager that there's some people that bring out the non-concerted version of you, and then there's other people that just makes me like, oh, I said me, makes you. We talk about you. Makes like, do you feed off of energies quite easily?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what grade are you in now?
I'm in grade 12.
Okay. Finals are coming up. How do we feel about finals coming up?
Stressed.
Yeah, you experience a lot of anxiety.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, I got it. It's been months of just preparation for prelims. And I've got it, but people are putting extra pressure on it, which isn't helping the situation at all.
So we're going back to that initial, when you tell me to do something, then it's like, don't want to do this, actually. Okay, so at school, let's talk about ADHD for a teenager at school. What's that like? Because you're in a mainstream school, eh? You're in a usual, normal school with very high standards. So I'd even say, like, in a private school, has way higher standards than the usual. So how's that?
Well, I'm always on concerta, so I can't really tell. But I know that when I'm off concerta, I'm really loud.
What makes you know that you're loud?
Because so many people say shh or like calm down, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing.
Don't be rude, also.
Yeah, like what the heck? Or I just can't focus in class, and I want to talk to my friends.
And studying is so boring.
Yeah.
Which subjects do you take?
I take art, drama, and tourism.
Okay. And do you find that matches well with your ADHD, or do you have some regrets?
Well, I went through like 3 different, like, okay, so I always did drama, I always did tourism, and then I wanted to do biology, and I was like, no, after like 2 days.
Study.
And then I tried that, and I was like, no. And then the last option was drama, which is still like, no.
Are you struggling? Why is it hefty in the content that you have to study?
Yes, as well as you have to learn like 5 essays, and I'm not good at learning things.
While parenting. Not good at parenting things. So let's talk about the learning process. What would you be able to say you have a learning style?
Kind of, but I still don't really know.
No, I think I may have misworded that. I don't mean the miscommunicated when people say learning style, like hearing or seeing. I don't mean that. I mean, like, what do you do to learn? What do you need to be able to learn?
People around me. Like people
body doubling.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think what the big thing that I've realized is that teenagers that have ADHD, especially the very like intense ADHD, is that if there's nobody holding you accountable or body doubling you or just watching you do it, there's no motivation. So it's like, I can't. So homework for you, have you ever?
Once or twice.
Gun to the head? No, can't. Because homework's just not a vibe. But if you understand it and the teacher explains to you properly, that content's there. So doing independent work that is boring, reading and writing, is not a vibe. Do you get frustrated with the teachers that don't get that?
Yes.
Okay, because like, what's your ideal teacher?
So my ideal teacher, I had, besides you, because you used to be at my school.
Yeah.
But I had one in grade 5 called Miss Pina. Shout out.
Yes, okay.
She was like a stand-in for my other teacher who went on maternity leave. And how she taught, she would run around the classroom. She would like do these big, like, she was literally in Broadway half the time we were in class, and it just made me engage. Like,
Can you do the can?
No, she would explain things like it was a musical. It was great.
Okay, so then you're like entertained and you're enjoying it. So there was motivation to listen and be engaged. Okay, and now that you're in high school, no cans.
No, not like only Mr. Herwell's. Another shout out, but like my tourism teacher, he's also just like keeps us engaged. And but the regular teachers are literally just giving us work, and I'm sitting there staring at the board. Firstly, I can't see nuts, so I'm like, and then secondly, I'm just like, what are you even doing?
So your tourism teacher, how does he engage you?
He just makes the funniest jokes. Like, as soon as we walk in, he either plays a song or he like dance. There's been like multiple like times, or he starts shouting, and I just want to laugh.
It's like a vibe.
Me engaged.
Yeah, I want to ask something, like, because the 90% of the teachers are not your tourism teacher, especially in high school. I think because they think if they're going to start doing the can in the class, the children will take them for a ride, or they're going to make fun of them. So then they're very like iffy about how should I act in the class without them taking me for a joke, kind of a thing. But it's needed. So like that perfect balance. So meaning, that's what I wanted to ask is, how many of the children in your tourism class, hypothetically, your tourism class, would you say has some sort of neurodiversity? Neurodiversity.
Quite a few.
Let's say of 20?
I think there's like 20 people in my class, even less. There's probably like, maybe...
Don't start naming them, eh?
No. Probably like 6 or 7 of us.
As neurodiversity in a class of less than 20. And then that's the tourism class where the teacher is engaging you. And then in the bigger classes like English, the ratio is almost 50% of neurodivergence.
I think some people don't even know that they are.
Yeah. Which means that type of theatrics is kind of very much needed and is not there. It's just, here's the essay, we're on this page, do this, and then teachers, no, I'm not bad-mouthing teachers, like teachers do the most, they have a lot on their plate, and then they still get paid terribly. It's the worst job ever. Shout out to all the teachers, they're doing the most. But the fact that the schools are inclusive and has so many neurodivergents in it makes it very tricky, because you have to meet everybody on the individual needs, and it's tough, bro. It's very tough. So how do you mitigate it? Like, what's the need for you if you're in the class? Because otherwise it just goes, because it's too boring.
I mean, at the school there's obviously learning support, but the learning support
Watch it.
No, doesn't really, I don't think they actually have like the education. No, okay, they're very smart people, but I don't think they actually know the difference between people who are challenged with work, because we have a lot of people that are different in our school.
Yeah.
We love them. To people who have like ADHD or stuff like that. They just teach us like all the same, and we're not the same.
Not one neurodivergent is the same as the other.
No.
Really.
So, and it just frustrates me to the core, because I'm just like, you're giving me these things, you're giving me the plan out of the year and stuff, and I'm just like,
I don't need that. That's not what I need. Okay.
Like
Yeah, but I mean, even so, in the learning support that is at the school, they are expected to support all the, like, maybe the entire phase, and there's one person for like, I don't know, 30 children. It's almost not impossible, but it's a huge task. But what now to ask the weird question, would you, going back now, would you rethink the type of schooling that you would you say, okay, now I'll do a different kind of schooling, or would you still do it the same way?
I think it's difficult because I love everyone in my school.
So the social aspects got you, not the academic aspect.
No. Like, I love the people there, but I just think if I had to choose, because obviously I moved schools, then I would go to one that kind of understood neurodivergent a little bit more.
Yeah. Then I mean, if you think back on all the stuff that you could have mitigated, if you just had the support from the get-go, and you wouldn't be labeled as a bunker and as a not saying you are labeled as that, eh? Just oh yeah,
I was.
you were not anymore. You're a good girl now. Now I'm focused on finals. But and then the teachers aren't giving you necessarily what you need, and then they communicate their frustration to your parents. And they're like, Bella's lazy, Bella's not doing it because, and then a parent that hasn't had the full education of how to have a neurodivergent child takes that on, and they say, now I'm gonna discipline my child now, according to what that teacher said.
Like giving you 5 more tutors.
Oh. But your mommy or any mother of a neurodivergent is trying their best. It's difficult. 100%. It's difficult because you get told by the professionals, the teachers, she's lazy, she doesn't put in an effort. And the thing about ADHD, and I find this to be the point of frustration for most teachers, is on the day that they do something that sparks your interest, you smashing it. You're doing the best essay with no help, homie, you there. Writing that essay, and then the next week they ask you to write something about something that doesn't interest you, and you're like, no thanks. And then you do one word, and they're like, how can this be the same person? So like, clearly her ability's there, and she's just lazy, kind of thing.
Or it's the fact that they think you use ChatGPT, and they literally, like, I've had instances where they tell me, I've searched on ChatGPT, I don't think this is your work, and I'm like,
no. I have an alibi to prove that I wrote that myself. Yeah, but you see, the thing is that, look, I'll just say it as it is that it was never supposed to be the inclusivity is something new. And the degree of education hasn't yet altered to the point where they've taught teachers how to understand neurodiversity in its many different levels. So the teachers, although they are trying their very, very, very best, stuff for them is difficult. And sometimes they are just lazy bunkers. So it's hard to
differentiate.
Yeah, it's tough. You go, girl. Big word day. You see, now the same thing happens with a parent. So your mum goes to coffee with her friends, and then the friend has a lazy bunker of a child, and she's like, you know what you should do. And then, do you know what I mean? It's tough, bro. It's tough. So what would you, I think the big thing is that the anxiety that it brings, like when the teachers are bad-mouthing you, is there a massive component of, I need my teacher's approval for me to have a buy-in in that class? Because if I have a teacher that's always picking on me, that I feel I'm not there. I'm gone. I'm not listening to you, homie. It doesn't matter if you stand on your head. I'm done with you. Eh?
Yeah.
Definitely like that.
I think it's anxiety mixed with a bit of anger in a sense. Of course.
Yeah, because they're unfair.
So,
it's not like you can help it, and they're treating you as if it's something that you're picking and choosing. When am I going to be brilliant? Girl, I don't know either. I'm still waiting when the moment's coming. And I don't think they get that it's not a switch that you can say, okay, the time's now. Tick, tick. We don't know. It's like load shedding without the time schedule. You don't know when it's coming. It's just surprise load shedding. And if you're not prepared, then it's awkward. You're stumbling in the dark. Don't know.
No, literally. And then the work just gets piled up.
Yeah.
Just and then they hate you. Okay, not hate you, but they just don't like you.
Yeah. And the thing is, teachers are humans also, so they can show it in their body language and in their tone, and they make it worse for the child. And then what's worse is, I don't know if it's happened to you, but then some of the children pick it up and start teasing you about it. Like that's a component for a lot of other kids. I don't know if you experienced that. But then they're like, oh, another one. When are you going to wake up? Like, then they start saying like, so then it's also then becomes a source of bullying as well. So then the whole then when you get home, mommy's scolding you, but I got a message from your principal. Then it's a whole toxic cycle of anxiety. And then they're like, so are you going to do well? And you're like, just this is too much. And I don't think people get that. I think they're trying to encourage you with fear, not the vibe. Not going to work. Wrong approach. No, that's going to backfire. That's going to backfire hard. So what is your juju to overcome mainstream school as a neurodivergent?
Okay. Get a good tutor.
Mm-hmm.
You might hate the fact that they are called a tutor, but you need one tutor that benefits you in every way. Like, you're my tutor, and since I met you, you have helped me along so much that the 20 other tutors I've ever had in my 18 years of schooling, and you don't need 5.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need 5, and that's one thing I feel like a lot of parents think that their child needs, is they need 5 tutors to help them in different
subjects,
when you can find one who understands you firstly.
And respects you.
Yeah. And if you can't work, or let's just say if you start working and you get a bit distracted, they help you by talking with you for 5 minutes, helping that distraction go away, and then lead back to where you were in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that helped with high school, as well as just it's taken time, but instead of getting angry, just don't. I don't know how to say it. It's not don't care, but don't care what people are saying to you, what teachers are saying to you, what your friends are saying to you if they're teasing you. You're literally trying your best.
Yeah.
And what I actually truly believe is people that are neurodivergent, neurotypical, is they work hard in school, but neurodivergent people work 10 times harder, and that's what people don't understand.
Yep. And we're tired.
So tired, but we are so smart. Like, what's that guy who's grey hair? Albert Einstein.
Oh, yes.
He was neurodivergent.
Yes, he has ADHD.
He's the smartest man alive.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll go back to your tutor thing, is that what parents don't realize is that it's not for the lack of understanding that they're not doing well in Afrikaans.
Or motivation. And the fact you're not.
Look, do you think I want to fail? Hello? That's not something somebody chooses. But it's the fact that the neurodiversity is putting up a barrier there that they don't know how to overcome. They don't know how to access the information. They don't know how to get there. And so the tutor, I wouldn't call it the tutor. I would say it would be an academic therapist. Yeah, it would just be somebody that understands neurodiversity, that helps you to say, oh, that's why you're not getting that. Let's not look at it from this angle. Let's look at it from this angle, from your angle, and then you'll be able to understand it. It's not that you didn't understand maths or that you didn't understand X, Y, and Z, or and a lot of it was undoing the damage that came from the people that didn't understand you. Yeah. So it was just like, you got this, girl. You got this. Just reminding you, I think a big part of working with neurodivergent is just helping them to see, you got this. You do have it. You have all the tools. Hey?
Confidence.
Yeah, girl. And the potential's within you. Yeah. But the thing is that the anxiety that is provoked within you because people are putting pressure on you is something that I don't think, and I think many neurodivergent parents unknowingly is causing their children's anxiety, because they're like, did you study? Oh, you're going to study. When are you going to? Because they're concerned, because they watched you grow up struggling, bro, and coming home crying. And, so they also have their own anxiety. So it's well-meaning. The pressure is just a cause of the effect.
Yeah, and they just want you to succeed. But
I don't know. My dyslexia is confusing. We're trying to cause and effect and cause and effect. I'm confused now. Whatever, points made. The cause and effect of the cause. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
Let's just marry that. Lock it in. Call a friend. So that you just like, if I could speak to every parent of a neurodivergent, is just be the cheerleader, not the witch. Just say, you got this, baby. Mommy believes in you. Even if you fail, I still love you. Do you know, like that's what mommies and daddies need to do, without saying, no, did you do it? Did you do your work? But imagine the self-discipline. Because are you always working?
No.
Are you always doing? You're just supposed to also know. Because you need somebody to body double. You need an academic therapist, like you say, and a tutor to sit with you and say, come, you can do it. I'm just going to sit here and be here while you do it. Because otherwise, who's going to motivate me to do things?
But also at the same time, I felt that like when I used to study and stuff like that, my mom would be like, okay, go to the kitchen and you're going to work there. And I would be like,
that's not my space.
It's not my space. If I want to sit on my bag.
Yeah.
My bed.
Sit on your bag, girlfriend. Sit on your bag.
If I want to sit on the floor and study, if I want to sit outside and study, it's where I need to do it. And I don't want you looking at me doing it, because you're giving more pressure, and there's like someone watching me from the back thinking I'm not doing my work, when a tutor can...
A safe space.
It just makes you feel a lot more at ease. Because if you need help, you can ask them and they can help you, instead of you being like, let me actually phone a friend.
Yeah.
And
then it's like, oh, and then what did John say to you? And then you're distracted with something else. Let's talk about what it's like to be a teenager in this society. I think you've got a lot of wisdom on what's happening that my generation and older doesn't even begin to wrap our minds around. Talk to me. This is a safe space. Hardly anybody's going to hear what you have to say.
Girl, you are going viral.
No. Tell us your things.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want me to categorize it for you? Or you're just going to gooi?
I don't know how much I should gooi.
Go, bro.
Okay. A lot of teenagers are...
See, like a news reporter.
My hands are like this. Like I'm... So, a lot of teenagers are smoking weed.
Yeah, of course.
Vaping. Drinking.
Substances.
But it's what people don't actually... Yo, bro, I feel like I'm saying something instead of backing my my teenagers. But it's a lot worse than people think.
Yeah, the substance abuse is a norm. It's not even abuse.
But like grade 6s are doing this hardcore stuff, which a lot of teenagers are seeing that and is like, okay, yeah, let's maybe calm down on this stuff. So I've kind of seen a cutback of the exposure that people give to youngsters.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of depression and anxiety and anger issues
and self-harm.
But like bipolar, there is so much stuff that is going on in our age group that I feel like a lot of, okay, I don't want to generalize, but even teenagers and parents are like, that's probably just a lie, because I feel like a lot of people who are in their older generations, like the older generations are like, you're too young to have that.
Yeah.
Or you are over exaggerating on it, or why do you have so many names for this? Because they only got diagnosed when they were in their like 50s or stuff like that. But youngsters are getting diagnosed with bipolar at the age of 12.
Yeah. As they start puberty, down, like
literally. And there's just a lot of like trigger warning, like suicide and self-harm and just self-destructive like tendencies. And it happens with so many people that they don't even understand the effect of, which they can't stop, but like the effect of people around them. And how if your child says to you, I have depression, I have these thoughts, don't just brush it off your shoulder. Because I know a lot of friends that families have like brushed it off their shoulder.
Yeah.
Them to a therapist.
Yeah. Get it seen to.
It works.
Yeah. Do you know, my generation, especially my mom's generation, like the one before mine, they had massive stigma of anything to do with mental health. Like there was the only extreme was you go into the mental institution, something's wrong with you, you have leprosy, go outside of the community, we don't want to see your face. Yeah. And then my generation was like, okay, let's start exploring it, get diagnosis, a little bit less stigma, but there's still a lot of stigma. Like, even if I speak to my husband about something, then he's like, yeah, but what about the stigma? And I was like, so what about the stigma? Like, there shouldn't be a damn stigma. We don't even care about the stigma. And then your generation is getting the reverse stigma of my generation saying, like, get over yourself, you drama queens, like, because it's now when there's apparently too much awareness. So it's always like these waves of societal norms. The other thing is that the relationships. It's like I find, obviously I'm not in your generation, that there's this, I don't know, lack of genuine connection. And many people are going to argue that it's because of the cell phone generation, or because of the substance abuse, or because of this drive for immediate satisfaction and no real understanding of long-term goals. But I think it's a combination of like social media, technology, the microwave age where I get something immediately and I don't have to wait. So any relationship's not worth the effort. I'll just replace you. There.
Oh yeah.
I do like, so I mean, in my day, oh my gosh, I'm older. But when I was younger, it was like a normal question to say, what's your love life like? Like, that's normal. You could have asked that, like, who you like dating, like, how's things going? I've always only had one boyfriend, so that one was always the same. But I mean, you can't ask that now. These children, you're talking about children smoking weed at grade 6, they procreating, bro. You know, it's just a wild time.
Don't even get me started.
Everything's heightened.
Oh yeah, people aren't having a childhood.
They grown.
No.
Now I'm going to ask you, as a child, as a teenager, you're a woman actually.
I'm an adult.
You're an adult, but I mean, as that generation, don't you think it's the parents, the onus is on the parents? Or what's your opinion of it?
I think it's a bit of both. There are parents who give their children the stuff at a young age.
Like wine and stuff? Or like
wine, weed,
condoms? What are we talking about?
Substances.
Okay.
Which I think isn't great from the age until 16.
Okay.
When you're 16, I personally believe especially in this day and age, they're going to start drinking.
Okay.
And if you want your child to, like, this is just my personal experience and what I've seen.
Yeah.
If you want your child to be naughty and go to clubs without you realizing it and getting sloshed,
Yeah.
then fine, be a very strict parent. But if you want to have a sort of relationship with them, they can be honest with you, allow them to have like a beer, or because it's not only, it's really, really, really controversial. But the reason what I think is, don't allow them to go to hectic parties or getting drunk out of their mind. If they get drunk out of their mind, ground them.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, they're going to drink. Whether
Yeah.
you like it or not. They're going to find a way, they're going to sneak around you, and they're going to drink. If you're going to give them a beer, but once in a blue moon, if you go to like, and if it's in a, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just going to
like a controlled environment is what you're saying.
In a controlled environment, but it's also going to allow them to understand their limits.
Okay.
Which in the long run to this generation is a lot safer.
Okay.
But that's only if they're going behind your back and you know.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
don't.
And for me, when I ask the question, I was speaking about the partying, about, I mean, the amount of nudies being sent at this age, they're not even fully developed. I mean, and online security, and did I say parties already? And substance abuse and sleepovers. I mean, I've heard some of the very young ones sleeping over in each other's bed. I'm like, whoa, what? That I feel there's like a part of me inside of my gut that's like questioning parents. Why are you crying about the repercussions of things that you've allowed to get to this point? That's what I'm asking as a kid, as this generation, not as a kid. Do you think it's the parents' fault or the kids' fault that should have known better, or a combo? That's what I was asking you. See, and then you were speaking about the beer thing. But I mean, essentially, it's the same thing. It's that what you're saying is you're training them to handle themselves from a younger age.
Yeah, but what
with
I'm also saying is there needs to be a trust. So if your child at the age of 16 wants to be a party animal, don't allow them to, but allow that trust of, if they want to, don't allow them to do it like at hectic clubs or anything like that. But a drink once in a while allows that trust. So if something happens that's hectic, there's that, I'm going to say trust again, of them coming to you instead of going to other parents and stuff like that.
So as a neurodivergent, the discipline that your parents have given you, or lack thereof, now just teasing, is it? Do you think that is the way to unpack the way you think a neurodivergent should be disciplined? Let me rather say. How do you think a neurodivergent should be disciplined in a way that they respond positively to it? And not like, remember you said to the teachers, if they say, do this, and you're like, well, no, I'm not going to know how, actually.
Yeah. Okay. As a neurodivergent kid, teenager, young adult, whatever.
Yeah.
If they put their mind to something, they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you say no, they're going to want to do it more.
Sticky situation.
Sticky situation. But if you give them guidance about it and not just say no, they're going to be like, oh, okay, so I have this trust with my parents. of if I'm going to try it one time and something goes wrong, fine. Because teenagers experiment. They're these crazy kids that just want to be adults. It's like that's what I've seen in literal grade 7s. So you need to speak to them like they're an adult and how they want to be. You lay down the ground rules.
Yeah.
You say, listen here, buddy, you don't do this like.
Yeah.
But you don't say don't, because I've had instances when my parents are like, don't do this, and I'm like,
I'm gonna do it now. That seems really interesting all of a sudden.
Literally, even if something that hasn't been brought up, and that's what I feel like people also have to understand is that
sometimes you're giving those kids ideas, man.
But also you need to be a lot more like not so stern, because I feel like that's also what makes for me makes me want to do it more. And if you say it nicely or something like that, I'm like, okay, yeah, like I don't even want to do it. Like you don't want to do it, but as soon as your parent goes ballistic on you and says, no, if you do that, you're going to get grounded, you're like, well, watch me, you won't even know.
Yeah. Do you know what, with the exact same thing that you're saying, that I've devised with my kids, and I hope that trust and that is going to build to when they're young adults, is that I've taught them the concept of free will. Like I said to them, God has given us free will. I'm going to give you free will too. You can choose to do this. This is what I'm asking you to do. However, choices have consequences. And this choice has a reward. So you can choose. You're allowed to choose. I'm not forcing you to do anything. But you have to understand. So then I explain to them, okay, if I always think everyone uses the cookie jar story. So let's go with the cookie. If you eat the cookie before supper, you're going to get a tummy ache and you're going to go on a time out. But if you don't, I'll give you 2 cookies after supper as dessert. So your choice you can make. I'm not going to force you to make any choice, and you are going to suffer the consequences or reap the rewards. Choose. That's fine. And then I walk away. And then they choose. But then I'm very consistent on keeping with whatever the 2 things are. So every discussion is there's a consequence or reward, and if you do this and I don't want to drink my thing, then okay, fine. If you don't want to drink your medicine, you're not going to feel well, then don't cry about me when you don't feel well. I don't feel so like
I told you.
Yeah. So I don't obviously you can only start having that logical conversation at about 3 years old. Before that, they do get it, eh? They say, oh, Aina, shoo, don't touch, you're going to burn. They get it. So from a young baby, you start teaching the concept of free will, but everything has an equal and opposite reaction. And they get that. So I'm hoping that it will continue all the way through. So when they're old and I say, okay, that's fine, you want to do that, but then X, Y, and Z. And then this will happen or that will happen. Make your decisions. Mm-hmm. My daughter doesn't like to clean her room, bro. I don't know where I don't know. I don't know. That's her father's child. Do you know what she does? She takes all her clothes. Either hides it under the bed. If I say I'm coming to check if your cupboard is clean, I've figured this homie out. I say I'm going to check if your cupboard is clean. We're doing spring cleaning Saturday. Lekker. She shoves all her clothes under her bed because I said I'm checking the cupboard. I only figured this out after a few times of doing this crap. Then I'm like, Mommy's going to sweep and mop. Then she shoves everything back in the cupboard. I only figured it out when her brother came to come and tattletale on her to say, Mila's moving her stuff. And then when I went to her room, she stood in front of her cupboard to open it. Why? What's inside? It was empty a few moments ago. No, he's got this massive pile. It smells like mice are breeding in there or something. And then I'm like, okay, that's fine. You want to breed mice in your room? That's cool. Consequence, you have to clean your own room. Also, it stinks in here. I'm not coming in here again. So if you want me to tuck you in at night, it better smell fresh in this room. Because I'm not coming into stinky room. Or I can help you and you're going to clean it up and mommy will help you to clean it up. Choose. Walk away. So I've thought about it and I've decided to make the right choice. What have you decided? And sometimes she can't find the motivation and then mommy can't come tuck you and then I have to stick to it even if she cries because I made the consequences. Then daddy must, sorry baby. But that small, not so like a consequences teaches her are bigger consequences when she's older.
In life.
Yeah, so that sucks, my babe. I'm very sad. It makes me sad also when you make bad decisions. She gets that too. You see, then she understands something small that affects other people when you make bad decisions too. I'm also sad, but you made the choice. Then she, okay, tomorrow I'm going to clean it. Okay, baby. But then I still don't break. I don't go tuck in. Daddy will tuck in. He didn't make the deal with you. But then when she's older, she gets it. You don't make bad decisions. It affects other people, hurts other people too, not just me. I'm not living in a flippin' island myself. And friendships. Do you know what? It's an ADHD thing. I promise you. It's the because we all or nothing kind of oaks. If I'm going to love you, I'll give you my left toenail if you want it. It's fine. That's why an ADHD person, actually a neurodivergent person, even like in general, phone them 3 years, you didn't speak to them, you phone them, be like, what's up? Nothing, no time has changed. So like, how's your grandmother and everything? Because it's just like out of sight, out of mind, not in a bad way. And then when you're back, I'm like, love you like a house on fire. That's normal. That's a normal thing. And then being a sense of rejection that you feel like when somebody just doesn't look at you, when you're like, hi bestie, and they're like,
and you start overthinking. I also feel like you get angry. Okay, I don't know if it's because I have anger issues, but I also don't know if it's ADHD, but I can get really angry at people, like very fast if they like hurt me. But then when I'm over it, I'm like, oh gosh, hey, but I still have that feeling of anger, like inside.
for how long?
Not that long. Like I forget about it, but it's always okay.
Oh, like I thought you were going to ask, like, you know, like the ADHD extremes is like, I'm really in love with you, I'm happy with you, and then I'm like blow up angry, like, I'm actually going to choke you to death. I'm done. And then, okay, fizzle up, done. That it doesn't, like, my husband always says to me, I wish I could stay angry at you for longer. Because I can't, like, if I did something and he's trying to silent treat me, or what is it, silent treatment me, and then I don't notice or something, and then he loses the motivation to do it. Then he's like bored, and then he's like, hey baby, do you want a cup of coffee? And it's like, by the way, I was angry with you, but you didn't notice. Oh, okay, sorry about whatever it was. Why were you angry? So okay, it's fine. It's like we didn't even sort it out because he was too bored of being angry. ADHD, bro. But that's like, I'm so angry. I actually, if looks could kill. And then, oh my word, you're the most beautiful thing on earth. It's like.
But then when there's another fight, I don't know.
Then it comes back up.
It comes back up.
Yeah, but that's because, like, if we're going to talk about the neuro pathways, it sinks down. It kind of gets a little bit pruny, so it goes to sleep. And then when the anger neuro pathway reminds this anger neuro pathway, we're angry with the same person again. So it wakens up all of those again. If you didn't like prune it and let go of it, you still kind of held it alive in your brain. And then it's like, I'm angry with you because on Tuesday, the 17th of 17th, and because of, and another thing, and another thing is, that's, but you should work on that one because you can undo it. I'm sorry to say. It is something that you can consciously work on and say, I'm going to forgive. But you know what? I can't do that until I've mentioned it to you or until I've processed it. So sometimes, like, I don't think I've ever really been angry with you.
I
I've
know.
worked with you for years. Never been angry with you. It's only actually Lance that makes me angry.
No.
No, it's because he's too close quarters. We do similar. And he works on my nerves for entertainment. He admitted it the other day. He literally, like, I have a foot thing, then he puts his foot against me just to see how I'm going to respond, even in my sleep. Who does that? And he wakes me up when I'm taking a nap because he, quote unquote, misses me.
Oh, that's cringy.
Then I'm like, I'm actually going to choke you. Silence of the Lamb style. Why? Why? No. Please tell me now. Why did you do this? I never nap. Why did you do this? You see, that it makes now getting angry now. But then I have to discuss it with him to say that wasn't cool. That was selfish, bro. You shouldn't have done that. Okay, done. Then I forget about it because it was dealt with. Mm-hmm. So you just have to mention it to the person and be like, man, they don't like that, bro. And then your brain ticks it off. It's done. And then you can prune it. So I can't remember things that I get angry with people about because I just deal with it. It doesn't have to be a confrontation. Just be like, that wasn't cool, eh?
Yeah.
Done. That's all your brain wants. It's just a little, I acknowledge why you were angry, was a valid reason, and then done. Then you get back it away. Move on. Love life. Okay, Missy. You have school tomorrow, eh? Your last day of school tomorrow, my homie. Last day ever. So go and get some rest, some beautiful sleep.
My legs are sore.
Sorry. Thank you so much for today. For sharing.
Oh, we done?
Yeah, don't you want to be done? What do you still want to share? What do you have to get off of your chest? All the anger things you want to prune. What I want to do with you is, if it's okay with you, to do a follow-up with you post-finals in your next year, like where you are, catch up and see, like, okay, see what Bella's doing now. All right. Okay, so go and smash finals. We're going to ask you your marks. We want to know. We are invested. It's going to be chef's kiss.
No, okay. I'm already getting such good marks.
I know. Smashing it, girl. Continue.
Yeah, I need to actually send them to you. Yes.
I'm waiting for them. Okay, I'm ready to do the dance party for you. But good luck. Smash it. We're proud of you. And I'm sure there's many gems that you've shared with lots of neurodivergent mothers that are like, oh, okay. Give them a beer, you say.
Yeah, maybe just
don't
a beer.
Don't give them a beer. I don't
maybe
endorse that.
I don't endorse
underage drinking. That's all what we tried to say.
But I don't endorse it, but it's gonna happen. So whatever.
What will be, will be.
So I'm so sorry.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that is such an interesting conversation with Bella. She is such a unique and wise young lady, especially given the fact that you're speaking about disciplining a neurodivergent. I know disciplining teenagers in general is a tough ride, but a neurodivergent teenager is even more sticky. And I think what she said was quite valuable to help all parents of neurodivergent teenagers. If you would like to be the next neurodivergent to be interviewed by Neurodiversity Support Podcast, you can go ahead to neurodiversitysupport.co.za and suggest yourself as the next guest, or if you know of some very special neurodivergent that you would like to hear being interviewed, you can also suggest a friend or family member that you would think would be a valuable part of the South African narratives as neurodivergent. Also, we would love to have you join our neurodiversity tribe on Facebook, on Neurodiversity Support Group on Facebook, and join us there where we talk about things, where we share our stories, share our jokes, and share our community as a neurodivergent of South Africa. We'd love to see you here next week. Oh, I'm so tongue-tied. I'm tired. Guts. Okay. See you next week, guys. Bye.